What's going on, guys? I'm here with one of our clients, Jason, who 10x'd his investment after working with us in Master Filmmaker. What's going on, Jason? How are you, man?
Hey, Eric, happy to be here.
Dude, I guess for anybody who doesn't know you or maybe your business or your background, do you mind just giving us a little bit of background on yourself and
Yeah.
kind of what you do?
Yeah, for sure, man. So for the last 10 to 12 years, really, I've operated as a freelance videographer, right? Until I worked with you guys, mainly doing work in the health and wellness space, but also a lot of space in the Jewish film space. I'm Jewish and I have a huge passion for health and wellness companies and Jewish companies. And so really just been kind of doing that on my own.
I love it, man. I love it. And I
Yeah.
guess what was kind of like what was the biggest like problem you had, I guess, prior to joining the program? What was the reason for joining?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love my company. I love what I've been doing, but it's been kind of operating in a silo. And I've kind of been felt like what I was doing was sort of just me waiting for new clients to come to me. And listen, it was successful. I had a lot of word of mouth clients that was working with me.
Right.
But I think the biggest issue was I felt like I kept hitting a wall every year and I couldn't kind of push past that wall in terms of how much work I was getting, in terms of the income that I was making after every year. And I was very happy, but I just knew that I could do more. And I was just confused. I was like, what are the next steps? And I just
Right.
didn't know what I could do to possibly grow my
Felt like
company.
you were
And I
hitting that
always
like
knew.
invisible ceiling almost, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just confusing. I was like, I know I want to grow. I know I have the capacity to work more, but
Right.
I just don't know what the next steps are.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a big thing too, because like I was in that same position where you, I think you get to that point where you're like, hey, I know I need to do something, but I don't know
Yeah.
what questions to ask
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Yeah.
it's like if you knew the question, you could be like, oh, let me go search it and figure it out.
Yeah.
But sometimes
Yeah.
it's like, I don't even know what questions to ask. I need someone to kind of look
Exactly.
into my business and see what are the bottlenecks because I'm not diagnosing the right bottlenecks, obviously, because it's not growing. There's always a constraint in the business. And I think that's kind of where you were at when you started here is like, it's like, what are the main issues that I'm facing?
Yeah, for sure, man. And listen, a part of me could say, I know I'm happy with what I'm doing. Like I'm
Yep.
making a living as a freelance videographer. That's awesome.
Yep.
I'm making a lot more than some of my friends are. But again, like I just always knew I had this passion to really develop my business and to really push past something, push past my goals and my limits that I kind of set on myself.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, there just wasn't a clear step-by-step process of where to go.
For sure. And I guess like why I know there's a lot of other programs out there. And I guess
Sure.
why did you kind of choose to go with our program specifically if there was a reason at all?
Yeah, it's a good question, man. I mean, obviously the ads kept popping up, right? Love the ads, love seeing you everywhere. But that wasn't really the main thing that convinced me, honestly, because I engage with a lot of ads online.
Yeah.
The thing that really convinced me, man, was one, reading or watching all these style testimonial videos from real people and being like, oh, I see myself in these people. Like these
Yeah.
people, these conversations that people are having, that could be me. That could be me one day. And look, now here we are.
Yeah,
Right?
it
Having
is.
this
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very meta. It was partly that, and then I think it was Hakeem. I hopped on a call with. And I just like really, really enjoyed the conversation. I really developed a lot of trust with him. And then, of course, when I hopped on a call with you, I had a lot of questions, and I just feel like the way that you answered them made me think, oh, I want to work with this guy because not only am I liking what he's saying, but I want to learn to like act and talk and engage in sales conversations and dialogue like he's doing with me right now. Because
Right.
I'm developing a large amount of trust right now, and it just felt like the right choice. My gut just told me to just go for it.
I appreciate that, man. We always like to be as transparent as possible and just share other people's journeys in these. And I think that
Yeah,
that's, because everyone's story is a little bit different. And I just want to
sure.
be as transparent as possible about everyone's story and what kind of led them to where they're at.
Yeah,
And I guess like, was there anything particular about the program that really helped you
yeah.
specifically?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it was multifaceted. I mean, the main thing was the ads, learning how to run ads. Shout out to Evan. I mean, he's a mastermind at this stuff, and like being kind of really being walked through that was so helpful because I had never run ads for myself before. I had made ads for other clients and delivered them, but I
Right.
knew nothing about the back end side of things. So A, that was super, super helpful and important. And then B, the other side was productizing my services so that when I did get that client to hop on a call with me, I wasn't like, so what are your video needs? I was like, more
Right.
like, here is the solution for your problem. And beforehand, I would just say, well, what kind of videos do you think would be helpful for your business right now? And so being able to productize and really come at it with a sales plan and a strategy and know what videos could actually help the client just made me feel more confident and also are helping my clients, and grow their businesses now.
Right. Yeah, it's not only just like getting more clients for you, but also serving them
Right.
at the highest level to make sure that they're getting the results that they want after working with you too. I love that, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
I guess
Exactly.
kind of a weird question, but I guess like where do you feel like you would have been if you hadn't taken action and joined the program? Because obviously it's scary, right? It's an investment. You're investing in yourself. It's not a magic pill. Like, where do you feel like you would have been if you hadn't just taken that leap?
To be honest, man, it was almost a year ago now, back in February, and I was scrolling through LinkedIn looking for full-time jobs as a video producer at a company. And that's when it really scared me. That's when I was like, okay, I knew I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I've always wanted to work for myself. And I have done that for the last 12 years, but I was feeling scared about the future. So to be honest, man, I might have been working for another company full-time as a video producer internally. And, or I would have just been stuck in the same place. And so that's where I would have been. And that's very different compared to where I am right now.
Absolutely, man. Last question. I guess if anyone is maybe on the fence at, of at least booking a call with us or speaking with our team, like what advice would you give them specifically?
Yeah, I mean, a few things there. Like if someone's hesitant about booking a call, I mean, just book the call, because at the least you will gain free information and insights into your company right now, because these guys actually will offer you free advice when you hop on the first call with them. And that was the other thing that I forgot to tell you that started convincing me, is I was like learning things that and developing insights just from the couple of chats that we had. And I was like, it's like you were sending me free value information. I was like, how do I explain to clients that they don't need a direct ROI on their video within day one? And you sent me like a video of another client of yours who had that same issue. And I was like, wow, these guys are already giving me free advice. I haven't even given them anything, and they're leading with value. So that's one thing. Just hop on the call. You never know what you're automatically going to get. And that the worst case is that you might end up scaling your video business. So
the worst case. I love it, man. I love it. Well, Jason, dude, I appreciate your time. I can't wait to help you scale up in 2024 here. And
let's do it.
Yeah, let's keep going, man.